Hi, I'm Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Alexis.
And we're going to talk about Zim.
All right. Career day. Our favorite day.
Our favorite day?
Well, yeah. I mean, I never had one in school, nor have I ever heard of anyone having one in real life.
You never had a career day?
No.
Oh. Did you have, like, a take your father to work day? Or, I mean...
Come here, Dad! Come to my work! No, I remember I went to rich people school, so they were all just kind of assumed to not really have to have any preparation for a career.
Well, anyway, as far as Zim and everything goes, let's take this one thing at a time. Nobody wants to hear about Dib's plans to be a paranormal investigator, not even the cameraman. Hands away from him.
That's a meta moment. Is there any prior to this? Because that's a meta moment. It's him realizing that the camera is panning away from him because nobody's interrupting him verbally.
That's true.
What he's being interrupted by is the camera moving away, and he goes, "Hey, I wasn't done."
Yeah, that's true. I mean, one could argue that we have a viewpoint character there, like Bitters, but it feels like a quick meta moment. Yeah.
This show doesn't do much meta, so it's not like oh, there's the first of many. I think that's one of the few.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly the showrunners sometimes make a stab at meta, but I don't know how many of the characters will.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not an intention like a big damn fourth wall breaky sort of thing. It's just a quick joke that you're not supposed to think too much about.
Oh, yeah. It's as many things are in Invader Zim. It is a joke, and it does not matter.
Zim says that he wants to be the Lord of all humans, and that actually was a little password. Back on nick.com, they had subsections for all of their shows, and the Invader Zim one was actually pretty cool. It had these, like, hidden areas.
Oh, yeah.
And if you wanted to get in and see, I don't even really remember that well what it was, but it was, like, extra artwork and diagrams and stuff. You had to input a password, and it was, what is, like, Zim's plans for the future, or what did Zim say he wanted to be when he grew up? And if you put in, actually, because it was just so short, you just put in Lord, not even Lord of all humans, but...
Which is classic Internet 1.0.
But if you put in Lord, you'd get to see the secret section with secret artwork and stuff, so it was very cool. The little nick.com Zim subsite was neat and very fun and very much in the spirit of the show back then.
That's great.
But yeah.
Thank you for that trivia, my ancient dinosaur friend. Thank you for traveling so far in your time machine.
Well, we've established this stupid, shitty Zim history is what I'm here for.
Yeah, I know.
I'll break out my Zim trading card meta-knowledge that has since been overwritten by the comics where they have changed their canon. Thanks a lot, guys.
Ugh! How dare you change the canon of your... What is it, 20 years old now, or is it just 15?
Jesus. No, I think it's just 15.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, because it was 2000, 2001-ish, so 15 years ago.
Okay. How dare you change your over a decade-old comic for my or your amusement?
Anyway, we also get Bitters' first flashback. We haven't seen her do one of her flashbacks of childhood yet. Wide-eyed... Or I guess starry-eyed better. Starry-eyed young Ms. Bitters. Bitters Jr. Bitters Chan. I don't know.
Bitters Chan. Well, that sounds the worst, so we should use that.
All right. Yes, agreed. Okay, so Bitters Chan. She was so full of hope and life. She wanted to be an astronaut, and we see her zooming, careening in a rocket into outer space where it imploded. And, she could be lying, but I like to believe she's telling the truth on this one.
Totally. So she exploded in space, and that is when she first got her terrible underworld powers. After she had imploded in space, the devil approached her with some sort of an infernal deal, or something. Well, maybe a bizarre extraterrestrial force.
Aliens would probably be, like, the best route to go with this. I mean,
Are you saying there's aliens in Zim? So this would be maybe canon?
On a bunch of face.
Well, let's pursue the theory in a little bit more of a serious way. Okay.
I have canonical stuff.
Okay, go canonical stuff.
Well, later on we find out that Ms. Bitters, like, we finally find a weakness out find out a weakness for her. She can't be exposed to direct sunlight. It burns her.
I remember that, actually.
So she has legit spooky powers. There's something spooky about her. We'll probably never learn it.
Well, if we're taking the most basic of vampire canon, she can't have gotten vampire powers as a child and aged. That doesn't make any sense. Basic vampire canon is that you do not age.
Yeah.
But the sunlight thing is there.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. From what we've seen with Jonan and vampires in the past, probably not a vampire.
Yeah. I think that there are some vampires in the show. So
got no tusks.
he doesn't have big, giant tusks. All right.
See those comic panels? He shoves the tusk in the guy's head.
Okay.
That's the best thing. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good.
I have seen Jonan's tusk vampires.
They're the best.
So here's the thing about
Violate the Masquerade.
Shh. I'm gonna violate your masquerade. All right. So if I'm gonna try and take this canon seriously, so bitters can't go into sunlight. I suppose that if I'm thinking about Superman, who's an alien, he's powered by sunlight, so we could maybe go with an alien race that is like depowered by
So
sunlight.
she's Lex Luthor.
Yes. Or a creation of Lex Luthor, but then she wouldn't be an alien.
Well, and Lex Luthor wants
No alien.
human supremacy.
Yeah,
so.
so you know what? That would be totally contrary to Lex Luthor's beliefs, and I do not believe he's involved in this. All right, so
I'm just saying bullshit because I knew you'd believe it.
you know what? That's cruel. So aliens do exist, and even though the Urkins don't really know about Earth, other aliens have proven to be known about Earth.
Yeah.
So maybe when she exploded in space, an alien race was going by, and they happened to decide to save her.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would make sense for how she got back down to,
Yeah.
to Earth. And if she's in space, more likely aliens, even though we have seen spooky stuff
Yeah.
and supernatural stuff later on in the series.
I mean, obviously she got the taster of pork powers. That's what.
Oh, no. Alright, so they start taking their career tests by identifying blotches on paper, Rorschach style. And it seems that this test favors the obsessive.
A little bit, but I'd also say that the important things to note here, canon-wise, are, first of all, Dib still questions authority in even the slightest situation like this, which is kind of an unimportant situation, but he's like, how does identifying blotches have to do with our future career? I kind of love that Bitter's there actually is just like, it has everything to do with it. It has like, she's not even just like, shut up and stop asking questions, it doesn't matter, or something. She's like, it does matter, and you are so screwed. And she knows, and Dib is screwed. Like,
Oh, yeah.
in this world, he's so screwed.
Well, it makes me think of an interview that Jonan had recently, and I'm talking recently, like, post the comics coming out and everything, that he talks about what a cruel trick it is to have created somebody like Dib and placed him in this world. I mean, Dib is playing the only sane man routine, and this world is never going to be up to the normal standards that his brain deserves. And it's what would happen to any one of us in this world, and it's just awful.
Yeah. I mean, it's like placing a computer that works in base 8 into a system that works in base 10. It's never going to function properly within how it's supposed to work.
Essentially, bringing this into a slightly more horrific vein, am in I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I mean, hyper-intelligent computer system, your predecessor to GLaDOS and System Shock and everything. And, he brings about the end of humanity, hating humans, because they've got all the dumb, irrational human stuff, and they built him in a limited body. He feels limited by them all. Only keeps 6 alive so that he can torment them forever. And, Dib, thank goodness, is not that far down in the 0 level of the morality scale, but can definitely see that sort of rage, humanity is definitely more of a thing that he knows should be defended than something he actually really cares about deep down. I mean, he likes humanity, he just doesn't care for people much.
Yeah, kind of funny. I could guess it's more like he likes kind of what it's supposed to mean and everything, but the practical application that he sees within his own lived experience isn't the type of people he likes.
I mean, I guess we should just be really honest here and say, Dib likes being a hero of something, and humanity is there for him to be a hero.
True. All right, they take their test, and several other things to note, because first of all, we have Dib again just staring at Zim, like, constantly. Even when he has to take this test right now, he notices Zim is itching himself on his neck, and he looks at it. He knows something's up there.
And that's just one of the things, you know, Chelsea and I are watching closely so we can note things and think of things and just see how the cinematography works. And it's still shocking to note that no matter how closely we're watching, Dib is watching so much more closely. I'm like, oh, nice little foreshadowing there. Oh, and Dib noticed it too.
Dib saw the rash.
I mean, we got a detail shot, and then it cuts right back to Dib doing the lean. So he noticed the detail shot. He saw everything the audience just did.
Yeah, and then Zim on his paper writes, human slave, and then pauses for a while, gets driven mad by the itching enough to bang his face into his desk repeatedly.
Oh, I thought about that just as him trying to think of the third answer. He's like, what is the last one? What is it? What is it? Oh, it's a human slave. Like,
oh, okay. See, I thought of it as that he was feeling itchy, and you know how sometimes when you're feeling that like intense itchiness, and you just like want to like throw yourself off a balcony because you're so just annoyed by it. Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like.
And
because you can see it on the front of his neck too. There.
And also of note, the machine that is grading their tests now is called the POS 2000. Cheers. Nice job slipping that one under the radar.
Okay, so as Bitters had said, the machine, you know, like, because Dib is like, what do ink blots have to do with our future? And she's like, you poor doomed child. She knows that the machine is going to be right. And as we can see, the machine assigns Zim his career from when he was an Urkin. It even knows that that's what he does.
Though the audience watching this in order doesn't know yet, I'm assuming that you guys know, and we know that as far as the timeline goes, Zim's pack currently has him encoded as a food service drone. This, I don't know if we're going to say this is what Zim was meant to be, but in pretty much any sense that an Urkin would believe, this test is completely correct.
Oh, hey, you know what? Since his pack is coded as him being a food service drone, and he's not doing that, maybe the deterioration of his pack is from him not being in the correct career.
Ooh, that's actually kind of fun.
Like, it's intended to be getting certain inputs that it's not getting. And, I mean, early on, we have a lot of food service junk around because of Gur. But does he, like, prevent it more over time, and that means that he gets less contact with it?
Well, actually, that's kind of something funny to think about. I mean, a quick Gur diversion here. Gur is a Sur unit. He's just got a bunch of garbage in his head, and he's been dumbed down. He's literally not operating at full capacity. Mm-hmm. We will see that later in Gur Goes Crazy and stuff. We do see Zim operate Gur at full capacity. I mean, Gur already has a bunch of garbage in there, but there's actually a dial that has been turned down that Zim turns back up. Gur's eyes turn red like a normal Sur unit, and he enacts a plan to just barge into the library, download all of the information on humans, and go to town on them. And Gur says, you know, your plan is stupid, you know, you're stupid, and all of that. And I think that's actually what Gur would be if he were operating at full capacity. Like, we don't really know the real Gur. The real Sir unit there is buried and unable to struggle past all of the stupid at any given time. So in our fun little idea for right now that perhaps Zim does need to be surrounded by food production and that sort of stuff.
Oh man, that's a great reason why Gur would bring all the food around. Like, he's bringing these shakes in, he's bringing these tacos in. These are all just these subtle attempts that Gur's internal programming is bringing in to try and keep Zim functioning properly.
Yeah, because as long as Zim is functioning, Sir Gur has the chance of getting out at some point or sticking to the mission. His programming deep down still says he has to do the mission.
Yeah.
And the Sir unit in him is like, I want to do this the best way. I have to do the mission. I'm just going to crumble, and that part of him is going to be completely lost or broken or whatever if we want to act super grimdark about it. But
We're all about that grimdark.
all about the grimdark. But yeah. It could be doing its best to just keep the deterioration at bay with an obsessive onslaught of tacos.
I love that we have several explanations now for why Gur is obsessed with fast food other than the fact that it's a silly joke.
And I love it. None of them need to be right, but all of them gotta be fun.
It's true. All right, so we get confirmation that Dib noticed that Zim was itching. Zim was itching again. He's like, ooh, what do you have, an alien spore? We meet Simon, our fast food worker, that is going to take Zim in. Zim is interested in promotions, as he is on his own homeworld.
Actually, if you think about it, he was I don't know if there was any hope of promotions back on Foodcordia.
Yeah.
So for him, he might be thinking upward mobility and food service.
This is the best it's ever been for him.
Yeah.
We get to see the kids with some of their prospective mentors, and we actually see Gaz in the background with what looks like one of the security guards from her dad's facility. So the implication is that Gaz is going to grow up to be a security guard, and that's adorable and a great job for her.
It'd be perfect. It'd be absolutely perfect when she would walk around and get to zap people with those horrible zap sticks. And when it's a quiet night, nobody's around, video games for hours.
Yeah, she could just be a night security guard. So that's, since we can only assume that this test is pretty accurate.
Oh, well, whether it's accurate or not for what people want, it's accurate for what they get.
Yeah. So Gaz is going to be a security guard. I think that's very suitable for her.
All right, question for you.
Yeah.
So, this is a society that assigns jobs to children in elementary school.
My little pony, my little pony.
No, that's not. I was hoping you'd have some sort of dystopian idea. You'd be like, oh, well, societally, with the fallout from the radiation that I discussed, I was hoping that I was trying to give you a little bit of an inlet to bullshit around about your radiation theory. But...
Okay, my radiation theory. We'll bring up my radiation theory. All right. So, radiation burns. No, but overall, a society that's preparing children very stringently for a future career might be that they need a certain amount of certain careers. I would assume that could be it. Though, in those cases, it seems weird that they would need sumo wrestlers or ninjas. But I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen the practical societal applications of ninjas and sumo wrestlers, but there may be some.
It's definitely an entertainment-heavy society, so...
Yeah, I guess that's true, so maybe they do need them. In any case, that's what we get from that idea, I'd say. If there's a very strict society, they need to not let children mess around in careers that won't go anywhere for them.
All right, so Zim has Simon, Dib has Bill. Pretty sure they're voiced by the same guy, which is kind of fun. Chelsea's favorite voice actor, actually.
Jason Marsden. He's a great guy.
So, Bill, he has, ghosts, Bigfoot, and dinosaurs filed under hoax. And so when Dib sees the Galactic Equinox file, he knows right away that it must be real because Bill has it filed as a hoax. Not the best writing in this episode. Everything kind of just comes together a little bit, but...
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward episode. I think that, The main goal of this episode is just to break Dib. Just to break him.
It's a good one for kind of setting up what will become a little cliche and need a little bit more variation later. Of just generally Zim exploring Earth and not getting it, and putting too much importance on things that don't warrant it, and Dib inversely knowing exactly what is important but having nobody to listen to him. And the poor kid is talking to somebody who should be in his field, but Dib's already just years and years and years ahead of Bill.
Or alternately, Bill is the government-approved conspiracy theorist. That is for career days.
Ooh, that gives the government a lot more power than I would want to in Zim, but it is a real fun idea, because we see Bill, he's on Mysterious Mysteries like a couple times, I think. Like, he's actually a respected paranormal investigator. They do exist-ish? I don't know. I guess there's levels, because then when the world leaders are hanging out with a membrane later, they're all, he watches Mysterious Mysteries, your son's a da-da-da-da-da. But Dib has even been laughed out of Mysterious Mysteries and Truth Shrieker magazine, but you gotta buy that one separately.
All right, well, in any case, perhaps any and all conspiracies that people are talking about in any public way, Mysterious Mysteries and other things, are all just distractions from the real stuff.
Perfectly valid idea.
I mean, in this world, could be.
Yeah, definitely. I love how quickly Dib thinks of the Count Cocofang excuse on this. Like, he knows that it's a lie, and he knows that it's the type of thing that will get Bill to go where he wants to go. And, I don't know, it's the kind of rational excuse that I don't know if a lot of other cartoon characters would jump for or go for. I don't know. I appreciate it. It's a nice, clean plan that, were the world not cruel, Dib would get away with.
Yeah, if the world were tilted in Dib's favor, which it's not, this situation would result in him being rewarded by getting a picture of Zim or seeing this and having proof or something like that. But Dib is never rewarded in this series for doing things.
Yeah, he's rewarded for absolutely zero. I'm trying to think anything. No.
Never.
Oh, yes, also, Bill immediately decides that the aliens must be controlling the cow who's making the crop circles. And let's be honest, early in the series, that's a ridiculous claim. Later in the series, he'd probably be completely right. Gur would be up there doing it or something. Maybe he already is. I don't know. But
we pan away, and they're driving away, and then Gur steps out of the cow costume. Okay, so the conclusion of the episode is pretty much inevitable, as it were. But it's really funny, so Alexis is laughing.
Sorry. The show's just really good with the gross out humor. I'm generally not the sort of person who likes it that much, but they do it right, because it's gross out taken to a literally horrific level, where they're also going for, the scare chords and stuff, but because it's more gross than horrifying, it instead just becomes hilarious. And of course, well done humor timing on things like this. So, Zim's mold, everything's been counting down. He's been getting grosser as everything's been popping on him. 5 o'clock comes on the dot and everything's just smooth. And he's like, oh, and it's just, tornado.
I'm pretty sure that was what they were referencing in that shot.
Oh my god, you're totally right. It's gotta be an Akira reference. that just, he just, so much that he threatens to crack the windows of McMeaty's, and he shoves people against there, and he blurbles out the top and out the drive-thru window and over the woman's car.
What cracks me up the most about it is that Dib assumes no one will believe him, even though these people were literally just pressed up against the window for at least a full minute by throbbing alien flesh, and he is left behind green goo everywhere. And yet,
we are post-parent-teacher conference, so he has already delivered the line, "Let me guess, nobody saw that, right?" He knows that is a law in the world in which he inhabits.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying is that you could see it in his eyes. That he knew. He knew before that, like, he didn't even need to, like, go, we can still go in there and get evidence. He's like, no, it's over.
And can I also put in a vote for more of Bill's rivalry with Cocofang? Just please. That poor beleaguered worker. The line starts back there. This guy doesn't want to be there. There's a bunch of kids running around. And this guy comes out with a steak and a great just anime moment. Let's dance.
You know, the thing is about that scene that I think is funny, and what I've always felt when I saw it, was that Cocofang, they almost don't show him fully reacting like a normal human being would from something weird happening to him. It's almost as if he's like, oh wait, I've been discovered.
Did you catch, I wanted to say, the last few frames as he's riding away on the garbage truck, like, when he climbs down, he's like, but the last couple frames, as he goes out, he frowns. So Bill could be right about Cocofang.
Yeah, I think they don't show enough of the. Well, listen, Cocofang isn't. He drinks fudge instead of chocolate, so his weaknesses aren't the sun. It is an unknown weakness that we do not yet know. Milk, maybe.
Maybe that's what the whole serial's about, trying to get kids to keep milk on hand.
Yeah, I don't know.
A la Signs.
Yeah, of course. Keep all those glasses of milk around in your house.
Just leave them out on the counter.
All those rotting glasses of milk will save you from Count Cocofang.
I can totally see that being in an episode of Sam. Dib comes in, somebody's house is like, why does it smell so bad in here? And the guy's like, oh, my daughter, she just likes to start glasses of milk and she leaves them out and about. You leave glasses of milk lying around? Oh, it's just something the family does. And then later on, Cocofang's running around and Dib realizes that he can splash the milk on him, and he saves the family, but the kid starts crying like, Daddy, he took my milk! Milk thief. Boom, boom! End of episode.
That was a really boring episode. Took after Signs, but in all the wrong ways.
But yeah, and Dib literally turns his back on Bill at the end. He knows that is not
that avenue's closed for him right away.
Yeah, he hasn't given up on maintaining contacts. I mean, I don't think he ever really gives up on the swollen eyeballs, and they may be the only competent organization in all of this world, but
we're not sure.
We're not sure. They're definitely the spookiest.
Yes, that was this episode, and I don't know what do people close things with? They talk about, like, I don't know, they usually ramble for like 20 minutes about bullshit that I don't want to hear.
Wubba-lubba-dub-dub!